Today I'm going to talk about some new running apparel from Janji. .71 miles, 8 minutes, 15 seconds per mile, 142 beats per minute out there today. Taking it nice and easy on a bit of a chilly day for an hour and 3 minutes in the streets of Chicago. I've been trying to keep my time outside to about an hour or less these days, trying to limit my time outside and staying close to my neighborhood. So running around just the city blocks, a little bit different than my normal lakefront route that I like to run here, but having a great time out there and testing out some new shipments that I received from Janji. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar or haven't seen my other Janji video before, Janji is a company based out of Boston of runners who are runners, travelers, and who are socially minded. And so 2% of all the proceeds of Janji purchases will go to support clean water projects. Janji meaning promise in Malay. Their promise being that they're going to be able to fund through the work that they do as Janji to support those efforts around the globe. So this year for 2020, they are focusing on clean water projects in the Philippines. There's a lot more information on the website that you could check out, and I'll post links to it down in the description below. But a really important part of their business model, and I think a really important part of the brands that we're looking at, is the other work that they're able to do with the kind of sway and power that they have as companies in this space. So let's take a look at some of the things that they've sent this time to me. Full disclosure, most of the things that I'm going to talk about today were sent to me for the purpose of review, so I did not have to pay for them myself, with the exception of the neck buff. I'll talk about that later. But in either event, whether I bought it with my own money or they sent it to me, no one's paying me to make this video separately other than the product that they've sent, and no one's going to get a chance to preview any of the footage or my thoughts on these products before you guys get a chance to see this video on YouTube. So with the disclosures out of the way, let's talk about the new stuff that I've seen come in from Janji. So the first thing that I'll talk about is the hat. I don't think that it's necessarily new, but it's something that I haven't tested out yet. It is a quick drying hat. Fits pretty good. I think it kind of looks a little bit goofy on me. It might just be the quarantine mustache and the fingernails that I got going on. So I'm having a little bit of an interesting time kind of recognizing myself in the mirror these days, but I do think that the hat kind of just fits me a bit funny. It's very comfortable to wear though. I enjoyed having it on today. It's definitely a quick dry material, so something that even if you're in a really hot place, it was not hot today. It was in the low 40s, so a pretty chilly day today. But if you're in a hot place, this material is going to dry super quick. The one thing I think is a little bit odd is that there's a zipper pocket up here. I'm not sure I would ever use this. I'm not sure what would ever really go in there. But if you've been in need of another small secure pocket, there's one in the hat. The next thing that they sent to me were these 5-inch shorts. These are the 5-inch AFO middle short. Again, made out of the quick drying material, a little bit different than what's in the hat, a lot thinner. These shorts are super comfortable and not exactly the best shorts to wear on 40-degree weather like we had out there today, because they are so lightweight. They say on the website that it's easy to forget that you have them on, and I think that's definitely true. This material is just super light, very quick drying. So if you're in a sweaty place or running in very hot temperatures, it's going to get wet clearly, but it'll dry relatively quickly. Or if you're traveling, and this is the pair of shorts that you're bringing, a lot of times when I travel and I run, I will bring the shorts with me into the shower. I don't wear them in the shower, but I'll wash them in the shower and then hang them up after I wring them out. I'll hang them up in my hotel room, and hopefully they're dry enough for the next day. These are definitely going to be perfect for that kind of use case. The other thing about it is the liner is just super comfortable. I love the feel of this liner wearing it. Very inviting. The waistband is nice and stretchy. It's also like mesh type of stretchy material, so very well ventilated. In terms of pockets, there's one giant pocket in the back. Although it doesn't feel giant, the opening's pretty small, and it doesn't seem like it, but you can fit an iPhone in there. I put my iPhone 11 Pro in there. It fits more comfortably without the case on, but if you really work it, I can get it with my case. I have a slim case on, but just that different. That's how snug it is. It just barely fits my iPhone 11 Pro with the case on. I'll have to do a little bit more testing once it gets a little bit warmer out. Today, because it was chilly, I also wore tights underneath these shorts. So I kind of had a lot of layers going on. The other thing they have is an internal pocket in this on this liner. It has a little bungee loop, so if you do have a little mini carabiner or a ring that you could put your keys on, attach it to that, you can, or you could just drop them in the pocket in here. This pocket is also stretchy and big enough to fit a hotel door card, or for me, I would put in my keys and my door swipe card to get into my building. That's going to be the perfect fit on that. There's no pockets on the side on this particular pair of shorts. If you need shorts with pockets on it, they have another pair of shorts that does have side pockets, a little bit more designed for running and living, kind of travel type scenario. But if you just need a good pair of running shorts, these 5-inch shorts definitely worth looking at. I will say though that as far as a 5-inch short goes, this is probably the most accurate 5-inch short. Other 5-inch shorts that I have seem to be just a little bit longer, or it might be because this material is so thin and almost invisible feeling that it feels like I'm not wearing quite as much short. So just something a little bit to keep in mind. Maybe I just need to get used to it. The other thing that I'll talk about today was the top layer that I wore, which I instantly have fallen in love with. It is the TT half zip. TT is for their transit tech, so kind of their travel wear. It is a wind and water resistant layer. I'm not sure if it's waterproof, but definitely could be used on a rainy day. So pretty thin material, but did a really great job of keeping some of the wind out. Today was a particularly gusty day here in the windy city of Chicago. So definitely appreciated having that because the wind was bitingly cold. Some of the other features in this though are that the interior portions of your arm, so this part here, is ventilated. So that's gonna help with airflow, which is always kind of a problem with some of these wind layers. They're good at keeping wind out, which means that they frequently keep a lot of the hot air in. This is going to help you get some of that air out without making you too chilly. There's a giant kangaroo pocket in the front with access from both sides. So you've got this pocket up here, and you've got little blue pull tabs to open up the giant middle pocket. That's the only main pocket on this, or half zip. And then you've got a big zipper up the front. Along the back, you've got the Janji logo and these two little loops, which I really couldn't figure out what they were for at first. But then I think what they're for is if you need to hang it up. If you're traveling, you're in a hotel, you got this thing soaking wet, you want to get it to dry, you can kind of hang it by a loop. I think that's what you do with it. Otherwise, I do kind of like the color of it and I like the placement of it. So if it's just pure decoration, it kind of looks nice, but I do think it's functional as well. In terms of other functionality, there is a little fast cinch cord in the back if you need to tighten it and snug up the fit along the bottom in the rear of the half zip. So this is a pretty fantastic layer. I've been running in a hoodie layer that they've sent me the last time I reviewed Janji products, and that is definitely one of my favorite layers to have on because it fits in that category, like right between, like, I can't just run with a long sleeve out today, and like going with like full winter gear is a little bit too much. So a lot of that, like in between, like warmer winter or cooler spring, like that category of temperature, the Janji stuff that I've been running has been super fantastic. Always kind of the stuff that I'm most excited about, like after laundry day, because then I know it's clean and it's going to be in the closet. Definitely something that I have been reaching for. The last thing that I'll talk about is the one item that I purchased with my own money, which is the neck buff, or the neck gaiter. I don't know if, I think buff is like the trade name, right? Not the product name. Anyway, the neck covering, it's merino wool. It's super warm. I bought it in gray, thinking that I would like that color the most, compared to, I think the other options are rose and azure or blue. But it turns out that one, the gray color, it's very light, and for something that comes over my mouth, anything that's really light, any of the moisture that accumulates in your neck coverings, it tends to like make it look wet on your face. And so that has not been ideal for me. So I don't love the color on that, but it's extremely functional, and then it's very warm as merino wool. And it does dry out really quickly, to the extent that it does get wet. The moisture goes away fast. The only thing that I will note about that, though, is it's just a hair too snug. I tend to have like a medium on everything. I'm kind of like exceedingly average in pretty much all my body dimensions, except for my head. I've got a large melon. So I think that that buff is, or that neck gaiter is a little bit on the tight side. It's a little bit too snug for me. But for most people, it'll probably be just right. So that's the latest installment of stuff from Janji. I got a couple more pieces that they sent that I can't wait to show you guys, but it's a little bit too cold for me to be able to run in that stuff. So stay tuned for that. I'll do some more testing on the shorts as well. But I'm pretty excited about what's coming from Janji in 2020. So it'd be really, I'm looking forward to some of that warmer weather so I can use some more of that stuff as well. If you have any questions about any of the stuff that I talked about today, or any of the other Janji products or what they're doing, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I would love to talk to you guys about it more down there. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Yo, what's going on?